Fine. Good morning, everyone. Kuchu. Okay. So this is a demo on mathematics optional subject. So we have some people here, some people online as well. So I appreciate that you people have come so long in this rain to attend this session. Okay. And then before going ahead, few questions from my side. So what is exactly that you are expecting from this session? A simple question, right? Since you have come here, obviously it means that something that you are expecting here. So what exactly is that? So maths as an optional subject, how far it's good for you guys and whether you can take this optional or not. So I will write something here. So these are all those pointers for us. Maths as optional. Okay. Okay. What else? But anyway, I will write scoring potential. Okay. Scoring potential, and then syllabus. Okay. Syllabus or
less competition.
Less than under the part.
Excitement to solve the problem. Interest or excitement to solve the problem.
First look cover chesestanu. Maths as an optional. Okay. Since you have to choose it as an optional subject, so obviously you need to have some kind of interest in subject content itself, right? For example, if you take any other optional also, for example, anthropology or maybe political science or public administration or even all sciences, maybe zoology or botany or engineering subjects like civil engineering or electrical engineering, whatever subject you choose, the first thing that you should always have is interest for the subject. But one problem with maths, guys, is that, as you said, in the process of the excitement of solving the problems, you generally forget about others like general studies. It's always there. It's always there for maths, guys. Okay? In fact, maths is a kind of a detoxifier for you. Detoxifier in the sense, this detoxifies actually cleans your body. Okay? When you actually read general studies, it's completely related to humanities, right? So when you read humanities subjects, especially people of maths background, science background guys, generally you will have a tendency like, what is that I am reading now? You're not able to connect yourself to the subject content most of the times. So somewhere you feel like something is piling up inside me. But once you start solving maths problems, all these things will go. All these things will go. You'll feel refreshed, energized, so that next day morning again you can start reading humanities, general studies, and then maybe in the evening or maybe whatever time, whatever schedule that you have, you start doing mathematics so that every day you feel yourself refreshed. But that you can ensure only if you do at least some mathematics on daily basis. Okay? Even to the extent that even before prelims examination, general tendency is that since prelims is a very tough exam, so it's a very dicey examination. It is highly unpredictable exam, prelims. So general tendency is that you spend a lot of time before prelims exam. At least 5 months you will spend. Maybe from January 1st you start preparing for prelims examination. So 5 months you will spend completely on prelims, general studies. My suggestion is that in such cases, don't lose hold of maths even in that 5 months. Okay, at least for 1 hour, you start doing mathematics even from January till May, 1 hour. Of course, in the month of May, generally, it's not, if it's not 1 hour, at least half an hour. look at maths. Daily basis, look at math. It refreshes you like anything. That's what maths is all about. Excitement will always be there, but you should have the tendency of controlling yourself in those excitements. You should have it, or else you cannot crack this exam, obvious. So maths gives an advantage only when you get those additional bonus marks compared to any other optional. For example, suppose other options gives you 260 or 270, suppose. Okay, if this gives you, mathematics optional gives you 300 marks, that at the 20 to 30 marks or 40 marks, whatever, is a bonus mark. That bonus marks you will get only if you're as good as any other person when it comes to general studies. So general studies, you should be as good as any other guy, and then in mathematics optional, you will get those bonus marks. Or else, if you get the 30 marks less in general studies, and you got additionally 30 marks more in optional, how does it make any difference? Getting that? So you should have the track of your general studies as well. General studies, you should be as good as any other candidate. At the same time, in optional subject, you should get that bonus marks. It's not just 300, it can go up to 310, 320 also. There are people who got 360s at some point of time. I'm not saying that you will also get 360, but this time, I don't think so people cross 340 in maths. Someone got 340 this time? Beyond that, it's difficult because, of course, people talk about scaling also. I don't know whether you understand the scaling part. The concept of scaling. Okay, we'll discuss that anyway. Okay, we'll discuss about scaling as well. Anything else? No, I have something to talk now, okay, regarding mathematics as an optional subject. But along with that, there might be certain concerns for you which I can write it down and try to address all those concerns by end of this session. Yeah. Who can choose optional? I'll cover it in the first part. Who can choose maths? Okay. Okay. Anything else? Okay. Shall we start? Okay. Now the point is, mathematics, as you know, let me start addressing each of your concerns immediately, along with whatever I speak. What is more important in mathematics as an optional subject? The first thing which is very, very important is accuracy. Accuracy. Foremost thing, everyone knows this, okay? The inside feeling everyone has is that some of the people who tell of course accuracy is important, it's not that it's not important, it has to be very, very important aspect in mathematics. But people say that mathematics is a kind of a binary subject. Binary subject in the sense, you have only two things, either 1 or 0, okay? It means you get answer correct, you'll get full marks. You got answer wrong, you'll get 0 marks. But that's not true. That's not true as far as mathematics for civil services is concerned. This is not objective-based exam. This is a descriptive kind of examination wherein even for the steps, you will get partial marking. But my point is very clear. My point is that, what will you do with those partial marking? Partial marking doesn't make much sense as far as our civil services mathematics is concerned. When you attempt a question, you have to ensure that you not only write the steps properly, you also get 100% accurate answer. That's more important. Of course, in all likelihood, it so happens that because of some reason or the other, there might be a possibility that 1 or 2 questions in the entire paper, it might go wrong in the final step. That is acceptable. It doesn't mean that you'll get full marks there, no. Okay, since all other questions you got 100% accurate answer, this particular question, since everything is correct except for the final answer, it's not that you are going to get grace marks there. No, no one is going to give you grace marks there. But the point is, you'll get partial marking. Okay, 1 or 2 questions, even they go wrong, it's okay, partial marking you'll get. But 90% of whatever you have written should be accurate. The precision, the accuracy is very, very important. Without accuracy, whatever you have done till end is useless. For example, there's a question number 1. Okay, and then you started writing answer, okay, till here suppose. Okay, so you have written so many steps, the final answer, it got wrong. Okay, assuming that if it is correct, assuming that this is a 20 marker question, okay, assuming that you got 100% correct, your procedure is correct, as well as your final answer is correct, then you might get up to 70 to 80% of the marks. It means that either you might get 14 or till 16 you can expect, depending upon not just your accuracy, depending upon the kind of steps that you have written. Proper explanation is important. It's not just you have written some steps. No, some steps doesn't make any sense here. The steps also have to be in such a way that even a common man with mathematics, a small mathematics background should be able to understand your steps. That's how it should be. Okay? And then you will get either 14 or 16 out of 20 marks. Okay? Assuming that everything is right, the procedure is right, in the end somewhere you made some mistake. So your answer is wrong. Okay? It's wrong. It's not that it's just that a rearrangement of terms gives you a correct answer. No, it's wrong. Rearrangement of terms gives you correct answer comes here. It's correct answer only. Okay? But this is a wrong answer because something you have done in the end which gave you a wrong answer. Okay? In which case, don't expect 70 to 80% of the marks. You might maximum get 40 to 50% if you're lucky enough. What does it mean again? Even though if you get 50% of the marks also, you already lost 20 to 30% of the marks depending upon the paper. Generally, paper 1, the scaling would be more. I will come back to scaling later. Okay? Paper 1 scaling it will be more, paper 2 scaling is less. Paper 2 you can expect 80% of the marks generally. In paper 1 generally you expect 70% of the marks. Okay, in fact that's how I have written 70 to 80%. Okay, that depends upon the paper as well. Okay, of course that depends upon year also, that's a different story. How, we'll see it later. Okay, if you get 40 to 50% of the marks for just the procedure, for just the steps, you are lucky actually. You are lucky. I'm not saying that you'll get 0 mark. The binary system is wrong. The binary system is wrong. Don't say that I'll get 0 here. No, not at all. Not at all. You'll get partial marking here. But the partial marking is not so good. You have done everything, right? You have spent so much of time here, and in the end you have done a mistake. You went to here instead of here. So what you lost for that single question, is nearly 20 to 30% minimum. Even if you take 30% also, 6 marks. 6 marks in one question. This is one question only. Okay? 6 marks in one question is disastrous. Okay? So it means that this is very, very important. You cannot dare to lose that 6 marks. That 6 marks, you cannot lose it in a single question. No. No. So what you have to do for this? It's obviously that what this requires is lots and lots of practice. Lots and lots of practice. How much of practice is required? It all depends upon the individual. Okay? It means that somewhere down the line you have to write so many tests. Tests in the context of final exam, not in the context of rough work. No, I'm not talking about rough work. The way you write a final answer in the final examination, the way you write an answer, that kind of answer writing should be there in your practice test, not your rough work. Rough work practice doesn't make any sense here. There should be some kind of rough work also. Okay? What I'm trying to tell you, the practice in the context of final exam, that is more important. That kind of a practice you should have. And what is that practice? In which you have those complete steps that you are supposed to write and also getting a final accurate answer. The mistakes that you are trying to do, that can be rectified only if someone else evaluates your answer scripts. For your kind information, one more thing is, the same question you solve or same question someone else solves. You have done the mistake, the other one also has done the same mistake, suppose. You will not be able to identify what mistake that you have done in your answer, but you definitely will be able to identify what mistake the other person has done in his answer, though the mistake is same. That's the human tendency basically. You can easily identify mistakes of others. We cannot identify our mistakes. Okay, so that is always possible. So that's where that you have to ensure that your answer scripts are evaluated by someone else, and then let them identify the mistakes, and you rectify those mistakes, and you keep on rectifying all your mistakes that you generally do. Some people does some kind of mistake here, someone does here, someone does here, someone does here, someone does in the last answer. Okay, even some people do some kind of mistakes in the last final rearrangement of the answer also. Final answer, trying to simplify the answer, you do some kind of a small mistake. Possible. All these things are possible. There are so many mistakes generally we do in your answers. Okay, but the point is, with practice, you can eliminate all these mistakes generally you do in your answers. That has to be done. That has to be there. You have to eliminate all these mistakes. It's not just that one test I have written, I have identified certain mistakes generally I do, I eliminated them in the next test, sufficient. No. There's a possibility that you can keep on doing those kind of different kind of mistakes also, which you try to eliminate them so that you will get a final accurate answer. This is very important. Okay? And one more thing which is also very, very important in mathematics is your speed. Why speed is important? Obviously, the basic two things. Why speed is important? Because you have to attempt as many questions as possible, trying to attempt the entire paper, and let me underline this one. You try to attempt the entire paper, but finally you will actually be not able to attempt the entire paper. Don't think of attempting 250 out of 250. Keep it away from your mind. No, you cannot attempt. Don't even think of attempting 250 out of 250. Okay? Why? Procedure. When you are actually writing the procedure, it consumes some more additional time for you. Okay? The procedure consumes additional time, because of which you will actually be not able to attempt the entire paper. Okay? So that means you have 250 in each of those papers, 250 marks you have to attempt in each of the papers, paper 1 and paper 2. Okay? So, if you are able to attempt a decent attempt would be 200 here, not even 250. 250 ruled out, forget about 250. Your mind, you keep it in such a way that you fix it that, no, I am not going to attempt 250, first thing. Okay? If you see all the rankers, any of the rankers, you talk to them, none of them would have attempted 250 out of 250. Because the reason that these two are important here. Because the reason that not only accuracy, the procedure also is important. The procedure here. The steps. Steps we call it as a procedure, suppose. Since you are writing procedure, properly you have to write the procedure. Okay? And then finally get an accurate answer. Now, one more question might arise here. Let me, whatever, I don't know whether you are able to visualize this or not. Someone did not go with the proper procedure. That is the kind of steps that you are supposed to write. You have not written those steps, but you have written some steps. Okay? But finally you got 100% accurate answer. That's what generally we do, right? You know, most of, I think, even our graduation, whether you might be BSc or you might be MSc or you might be an engineer, B.Tech or BE, whatever. Most of the times our tendency is that we try to solve it fast, skip some more steps also in between. You don't explain anything, but you keep on solving it. Finally, you get 100% accurate answer. In the academic setting, you will get 100% marks. But in civil services, you don't get 100% marks here. Getting my point? The point is, if you have not provided proper procedure, even if you get 100% accurate answer, you will end up here. Getting my point? You will end up somewhere at 40 to 50% marks. What's the use of that? Again, even though you got 100% accurate answer. Again, I'm saying it is not binary. I'm not talking about a binary system. It's not binary. Are you getting my point? You got 100% accurate answer. It means that if it is a binary system, you should get 100% of the marks. After scaling, suppose it might be 70% or 80%. You should be getting, right? But actually don't get it. in civil services. Because civil services requires you to provide not only the procedure or not only the final answer, you should also provide proper procedure. It means steps, proper explanation. That is important. Without which you won't land up at this point. In every other cases, you will land up here only. Even might be less than. Suppose procedure also not good. Okay, final answer is not correct. Obviously, you'll get less than this one, 20%. So something you have written, right? Some steps, maybe some theorem you would have quoted it, or some formula you would have quoted it, for which you will get some partial marks, 1 mark, 2 mark, 3 mark, 4 mark, whatever. But that is completely useless. What will you do with the 1, 2, 3 marks? It's not GS question paper, right? In GS, every half mark also counts. But in mathematics optional subject, it's not about half marks or 1 mark. It's about getting these marks. That's more important. That's more important always. Not this. This is okay. 1 or 2 questions, in the final answer it might go wrong. Sometimes it so happens, right? Since you are writing all the procedure and getting initial questions, whatever you write, you try to see that you get 100% accurate answer, right? In the end, you won't get enough time. So you'll be in a rush to complete the paper. In the process, you'll not be writing proper steps, but you'll get 100% accurate answer. So you'll get here. Okay? In the process, sometimes you go wrong, sometimes possible. Okay, or whatever might be the level of practice that you would have made, but still, in the end, some of the questions, 1 or 2 questions in each of the paper, you might go wrong. It's okay, possible. But still okay. But the attempt has to be somewhere, minimum here, from here till 240 based on your practice levels, you can go up to 240. Every year, the topmost ranks in maths, you talk to them, or maybe you look at their interviews. They definitely would say that they haven't even crossed 230 or 220 also sometimes. But if they attempt 200 or 220, but they would have done it 100% perfectly with the proper procedure and 100% accurate answer, then you'll get very good mark. Assuming that you attempted 200 in paper 1, suppose. Okay, 200 in paper 1. Okay. Now 200 in paper 1, assuming the perfect. You would have used 3 hours, 180 minutes to attempt only 200 marks. Practically speaking, since you will not be able to attempt 250, assuming that you prepared only for 200 marks and you attempted 200 marks using 180 minutes, and then you will get, obviously with proper procedure, proper accuracy, you will get full marks. Full marks means, suppose paper 1 it is 70%, you will get, if at all this is the attempt, you will get 140 marks. If that is the same attempt, 200 marks, in paper 2 also, you will get 80% of this is 160 marks. So paper 1 140, paper 2 160, how much you got total? That's it. Simple thing. It's a simple calculation, right? See, be very practical. Don't be like in the aspiration of attempting the entire paper so that I will get fullest marks, the highest marks possible. No. Be practical. In the examination hall, it's not possible because you are supposed to write a proper procedure. You are supposed to get a final perfect answer, which is possible only if you spend some time on that. Time is important. And in order to attend more and more number of questions, again, what is important? Speed is important. So both of them, what is more important is practice. Having known all the concepts doesn't make any sense unless you have practice. In order to score marks in civil services mathematics, the most important thing is practice here. Practice on 2 things. One is accuracy as well as for speed. Concepts, I am telling you, throughout India, everyone who has written mathematics optional for mains, everyone throughout India will be very much aware of all the concepts. All the concepts, everyone is aware of them. Given time, they can actually solve all the questions. But you don't have time. We have limited time. Of course, we have limited space also in the exam. One more constraint. Time and space, 2 constraints that we have. Okay. Anyway, we'll talk about space later. Getting my point? So I'm asking you to attempt only 200 marks. You don't require to attempt 240s and 250s, no. But yes, 1 or 2 questions of this might go wrong because of that reason that we try to stretch it up to maybe 220. If you have really super practice, then only you can go up to 230s and 240s, or else you cannot go up to 230s and 240s in maths. That's up to you. It might be paper 1 or paper 2. But yes, paper 1 general tendency is you will be able to attempt more than 200. That is up to sure. Paper 1 you can attempt more than 200. Possible. But paper 2, I don't expect crossing this 200 so easily without having so much of practice. Paper 1 X, because the problem, the advantage of paper 1 is most of the concepts, everyone knows them. Ordinary differential equations, or matrices, or calculus, or geometry, or vector calculus, or statics, or dynamics, whatever. Statics and dynamics, some of you might feel difficulty, but rest of all those 5 topics out of 6, everyone is comfortable, therefore you will have a feel that yes, I can attempt the entire paper. But don't attempt it, again, don't attempt it. Don't attempt it in the sense that, practically speaking, since you have to get the best marks here, the best marks for each of the question that you attempted, that means getting 70% in paper 1 or 80% in paper 2. And on average, I am telling, not exactly 70%. And tentatively, I am giving a figure there. Okay? But somewhere around 70 or 75% also might be there. There are people, you'll be surprised to know, one of my students some few years back, even I was surprised actually for that. He didn't have enough time after prelims examination, before mains, he didn't have enough time to prepare for optional subject because he was working professional, and then till the time prelims results have come, he was not serious. So after prelims results, of course, last 1-2 years, we are getting results very fast in 20 days. But earlier it was not 20 days. We used to have at least 1.5 months to get prelims result. Okay, 1.5 months is wasted without actually any preparation is made. Then how much time is left? So he has to read only selective topics. And those selective topics also, in paper 2, surprisingly, in paper 2, he attempted only 160 marks. 160. You know how much he got? He got 158 marks. Even I am surprised. I don't know why he got 158. Imagine 158 marks in one of the papers. One paper, 158. Even if you attempt 250 also, you will not be getting in general, right? But that guy got that year. I'm surprised. I'm clueless on that. I'm clueless. Don't ask me, sir, how come this guy got that? I didn't believe it actually. It's not possible. It's not possible. But still, it happened. But anyway, some miscellaneous certain things will always be there. Okay, don't think of those kind of examples. He attempted only 160, man. 160. Imagine. Least preparation for that guy. But still, he got the highest score in that paper. Forget about the other paper. That's a different story. Okay. That kind of scenarios are also there, but doesn't mean that you have to think about those kind of examples. Don't even think of them. Okay. Practically speaking, it is always about attempting somewhere between 200 to 240. Get 200 itself is a very good thing. Attempting for 200 to attempt 200 also, you need a lot of practice. Okay. But crossing that requires more practice, obviously. Okay. For that, you need to attempt plenty of tests. Plenty of tests. Test practice. To the extent that before mains examination, you should be in a position that take that question paper, previous year question papers booklet, open it, start writing answer. Somewhere arbitrarily you open that and write answer. Arbitrarily open that and write an answer. Choose a question, write an answer. That should be the kind of practice. That means any given topic, you should be able to recollect information very fast. All the formulas, procedures, you should be very fast in recollecting them. That requires a lot of revisions and lot of practice. I suggest you is more than revisions, it is practice that is more important in the case of mathematics. But in the case of general studies, yes, you have to keep on reading and then recollection, reading, recollection, and then writing. Okay? In case of mathematics, more than reading, of course, because everyone knows the formula. Okay? It's just that if you practice them, you can recollect the formula easily, very easily, right? Or else you just keep on reading the formulas, you cannot recollect them, right? In mathematics especially. Unless you practice them, you cannot recollect the formulas in mathematics. So, more important thing in mathematics is you start practicing things more than your revisions. Of course, revisions you have to do, but at the same time, the practice is more important. Understood here? The importance of accuracy as well as speed for both of them. The only solution is practice. Optimum number of tests you have to write. Doesn't mean that in general studies, people, when I talk to some of the rankers, they keep telling me like, sir, I have attempted 80 tests for prelims. 140 tests for prelims. Can you imagine 140 full length tests? Imagine. People have done that. Not required that because of that reason they crack this exam. No. There are people who have not even attempted 10 tests, but still they are in the top 100. Okay? People who have attempted more than 100 tests could not clear even prelims also. Possible. So it's not about how many tests that you attempted. Okay? It's all about the kind of practice that you have done to gather the information and recollect the information and try able to write a proper answer. Okay? That's what it is. Anything else here? Anything that you want to ask me here? Clear? Clear on this one? Okay. So the first point here is that, of course, this is important. What is more important for this maths is you have to write proper procedure and a final answer. Now here comes one of the biggest issue for us. Space constraint, yes. Time constraint anyway, everyone has it. But additionally in mathematics, we have a space constraint. Okay. So space constraint in the sense, those who don't know about what is this problem. So for them, in the mains examination, in the question paper, so if at all question 1 is there, 1A suppose, question 1, I will discuss about what is the pattern of the question paper as well later. When discussing about the syllabus, I will explain the pattern also. In question number 1A suppose, okay, question is written, okay, it will be given some space till here. Here question number 1B will start. It might be in the same page or it might be the next page. Okay. Generally there are 10 markers, therefore it will be in the next page. At least one full page would be given to you. Okay. Because it's a 10 marker, one full page would be given. Okay. But one full page is given, next page starting you have question number 1B. What does it mean? You have the space constraint of only one full page. And that full page also, let me tell you what is again one more constraint. They first give you question in Hindi and then they repeat the same question in English. Okay? It means that in this full page, a part of it is already gone. You don't have even full page with you to write your answer. Okay? So, whatever procedure that I am talking here, you have to write in this space constraint itself in one single page, that too part of the page. Are you getting my point? So while writing your answers in the practice you have to ensure that you are doing practice for this as well. They're all the constraints that we have. Okay? So that kind of a practice that you should have in such a way that you should know how to, even 1.5 page is given how to write an answer, 1 page is given how to write an answer. You should know it. Okay? So you have to mentally form certain steps. Which steps I have to write, which steps I don't require to write in such cases. I will give you one more bigger constraint in some of the topics, especially suppose matrices. Matrices, look at matrices. Okay? Now what happens in matrices? So in Hindi he will give a question. So suppose it is find the rank of the matrix. Find the rank of the matrix. Suppose it's a 4x4 matrix. I'm limiting myself to 4x4, it can be 5x5 also, 6x6 also. Okay? Not required to be 6x6, maybe 3x6 or 4x6, it can be any m by n matrix. Okay? So, he'll be giving in Hindi, assuming that English also, matrix is same, right? Hindi or English, just the wordings are different, right? So, he has given. It means that till here it is gone already. Now to find the matrix, rank of the matrix, you have to keep on modifying the matrix with row operations or column operations, whichever you prefer. So every time you write the matrix, okay, and then modify this by using operations, row operations or column operations, assuming that row operations, again you have to write it. How many steps you will be able to write? Since it's a bigger matrix, it will require more number of operations and then more number of steps are required. And there are certain students Who don't write like this? They write one below the other. Imagine then what happens. I say, that depends on you actually, right? See, everyone will not be writing like, generally my tendency is I don't write in the bottom, I just go like this. If everything is exhausted, then I'll come back here and then go in the row. Some people go with the columns in the matrices. It's up to them, okay? But you should have an imagination that at least, if I go like this, I cannot complete the answer. I should be able to complete the answer if you go with the row-wise version. Practice. Here you will come to know this. Directly go to examination hall and try to experiment there. You cannot do all those things. So you need practice for that as well. So there are so many things like this. You have to get practice. Practice only ensures that you are able to master all such things like this. Okay? Not only this, how to select this question. Shall I start answering this question or some other question? Which question I have to choose? That also comes with practice on. It's not just about your knowledge. Knowledge, everyone has the knowledge. But only thing is, what matters is practice. Practice, you keep in mind that the practice is important for accuracy as well as to increase the speed, which can ensure that you can attempt more than 200 marks. For that, you require speed. Okay? Given the entire day, suppose at home, you can solve the entire question paper. Yes, everyone can solve the entire question paper at home. But in the examination hall setting, you should be able to do that. For that, it requires a lot of practice. So space constraint also is covered. Okay? See, generally my tendency is that I generally don't encourage everyone to take maths. First point. Okay? Yes, you can take maths. Someone is asking about who has to take maths. Okay? My tendency is that I generally discourage people to take maths. Okay? Suppose looking at you guys, I assume that since you have come today, even so much of rain, it means that you are highly motivated to take maths. Okay? But in general, it doesn't happen that way. Okay? Pre-corona time, when I start mathematics demo class, you know how many students used to be there? 120, 140, 150 students. Sometimes I have seen a class, a demo class, there are more than 200 students in my demo class in maths. After my session, more than 50% drops. Because I want that actually. I want that not everyone should take maths. The reason being that all these problems. Not everyone will be able to do the kind of practice that I'm talking about. Number one, the kind of practice that I'm talking about, not everyone will be able to do that. Number two is, those who has got real interest for mathematics only can stick on to maths for long. Because you have people who will be telling you, suppose after this session you go somewhere and they go to a mess, okay, or a tea stall. You'll have another, your competitor waiting for you there. What option you have? I have anthropology. You will be saying that I have mathematics. Mathematics? Yeah, it's a very tough subject. How can you take mathematics? Better you take simple subjects like anthropology or public administration or sociology. No option is simple for that matter. I know it. Okay? I have a lot of exposure to different options. That's the reason I became a teacher. It's a different story. Okay? The point is, those who has got a real interest for mathematics, who are they then? Different scenarios will arise. One scenario is that, sir, till intermediate, I was topper of maths. To the extent that in my all classes, all the batches in my college, I was the topper. Every time I was the topper. Okay, it's okay. You got very good marks in intermediate also. Okay? Now what happened after that? You went for engineering, suppose. Okay? Most of them, if you're really good at mathematics, generally you go for engineering only, right? So you went to engineering, 4 years of engineering. What you have done in that 4 years of engineering? Have you done anything related to mathematics as such? Might be the applications of mathematics we have seen in engineering, obviously. Every branch of engineering will have those applications of mathematics. That's up to you. But how much you were able to remember, how much your interest still retained today? Is the same interest still there? Same kind of motivation that you used to do, the kind of problems that you used to solve, is still there today also? Not everyone has that. Most of the people will not be having. In that 4 years, the 4 years is more than sufficient to shift your interest to some other areas. You might not be having the same level of interest that you had at the time of joining your graduation. At the end of graduation, it's not required. For example, look at me. Now I'm a mechanical engineer basically. I got computer science, but still I did not join because mechanical is the word itself, that mechanical, if I listen to that word at that point of, not now, okay? I'll become mad of that. You know what I have done as soon as I got M.Set rank? I got 210 rank. It's a very good rank. I'll get very good branch in any of the colleges. But still I have taken mathematics, that too in Usman University, College of Engineering. You know the reason why I have taken mechanical, sorry, not mechanical. So mad of mechanical. As soon as I got rank of 210, I got a feel that yes, I'm getting mechanical. Then I directly went to a mechanic shed, you know, car repairing, scooter repairing shed in my village. I joined there as a mechanic trainee. So every day I used to go to mechanic shed, grease here, throughout. I learned lot many things about mechanical engineering there. Came to college to learn more and more. 4 years, 0. I learned 0 in mechanical. Because none of the teachers taught not even a single concept, which is a practical one. Not even a single practical. We used to go to workshops, we learn nothing. Because every workshop, they do something. We used to have records of previous batch, or previous to previous batch. They used to give those records. We used to fill the records. We used to get marks. We used to get attendance. We used to get everything. But where about the concepts? I learned 0 concepts in my college. So what happens after 4 years? My interest for mechanical engineering went to 0. For me, mechanical is nothing after 4 years. My interest has changed then. I'm still fascinated about mathematics. It's a different story. But still, what is my actual passion? It was mechanical, which died in those 4 years. Now you tell me, do you think like every candidate will be like me? Not required. But with respect to mathematics as a background, unless, if at all you have to take civil services mains optional subject as mathematics, then unless you have that kind of a passion to take mathematics, you cannot survive in this field. You should have a feeling that, yes, only with mathematics that I can become IAS. If there is no mathematics, leave IAS. I cannot become IAS. My becoming IAS is based on getting my highest score in mathematics. If that is something which you have in your mind, then you are the guy to take mathematics as your optional subject. And don't tell me that, sir, mathematics gives me 300 plus marks, therefore I will take mathematics. No, that's wrong. That's completely wrong. Okay? That is as good as saying that, sir, anthropology is a very small subject, therefore let me take anthropology so that I will become IAS. No. Both are wrong. Both are completely wrong. Both are equally wrong. Mathematics gives you the very good marks provided you have real interest for mathematics is number one. Number two, you should be able to do the kind of practice that I am talking about. If you cannot do this practice, you cannot score high in mathematics. Mathematics becomes a kind of a burden for you after that. If you don't do this kind of practice, be prepared to do this kind of a practice if at all you want to take mathematics as your optional. Without which your entire preparation is useless, you feel like it's a burden for you. It's such a big burden, like you will be carrying a big mountain on your head, on your shoulders. It becomes like, I have seen so many students talking about mathematics, my own students, 1 or 2 guys. Every batch will have those kind of students, okay? They don't attend any of my demos. They don't come and talk to me before taking mathematics as optional or attending classes, okay? What generally I does is, when I explain a concept, I explain a concept only whatever is required to the exam, not beyond that, because you don't require it, okay? So after that, we solve certain simple 1 or 2 simple questions, and then we directly move on to previous year question paper questions. When I solve one of the previous year question paper question with proper procedure, it's a kind of a template answer. with a proper answer you will get. And then I will give one more question for you to solve in the class. Unless you solve it, I am not going to leave you guys. You have to solve in the class. I come to every one of you. Okay, every one of you, because I want to see how you are solving the question. Everyone, I will come to, invariably I will come to each and every student. I will see each one. I will come to know very easily, this guy is for maths or not. The way you solve, I will come to know, yes, this guy is for maths. This guy is not for maths. At least I can say, this guy is not for maths. Okay? When I identify that, I call them outside and then talk to them like, Arya, why you have taken maths? Sir, maths, I used to have very good interest for maths. I was a topper of my college. And then today also I have the same level of interest. And then, but only thing is I'm not able to solve. Okay, then I'll give them time. I'll give them certain assignments. You solve this, you solve that, you do this exercise, you do that exercise, some homework I'll give them. They complete. Some people complete, some people not able to complete. Those people who completed, sir, now I feel like I'm comfortable with maths, let me continue with the maths. Okay, fine. Some people say that, sir, I'm not comfortable. Some people doesn't do that homework. Again, in the class, it's the same problem. After 2 months, what happens? What happens after 2 months? They feel like it's a burden for them because they're not able to solve the question in the class. Obvious. And when they see this side and this side, everyone is able to solve the question and they used to get answer. They used to prompt in the class that, sir, this is the answer, this is the answer, this is the answer. But this guy is not able to do that. He is in the halfway. He'll put that integration sign and just looks this side and this side. How the others are doing. What's the use of that when you are not able to do it? It becomes a burden for you. Just understanding the concepts is not sufficient in maths. It's not sufficient, not at all sufficient. Not only understanding the concept, you should be able to solve a question on your own with a proper procedure and getting a final proper answer. Without which, all your knowledge of mathematics is useless. You are wasting your time here. You're actually wasting your time. Instead, you choose some other optional subject, you might be scoring better than mathematics. At least you will enjoy that. But when you're not able to enjoy the class itself, then what's the point in taking mathematics as your optional subject? Useless. Don't come. Most of the candidates, I tell them directly, don't come, don't come, don't come. Some of them, they identify that, nah, this is not for them. There's so many IITians who dropped from maths. Possible. Because I would have told them like, yeah, this is the problem. Why you are actually continuing with this? You would have got IIT is a different story. That was thing of the past, 4 years back. But what are you today? Can you do the same level of mathematics today? At least, if not, at least 50% of what you would have done at your IIT preparation, if you're able to do it today, then it works out for you. Because you have another 50% to spend on GS. Right? So, be practical whenever you're taking mathematics as your optional subject. Okay? I'm trying to frighten you, yes. Truly, I'm trying to frighten you. Because that's what my intention here. Because I want only those people in my class who are really meant for maths. Okay? Because after 2 months, what happens? Those guys who could not actually continue with that, for those people who has, like mathematics has become burden for them. What do they talk outside? What do they say outside? Mathematics is a tough subject, man. The same guy whom I told him, like, don't go with maths. But he continued with maths. After 2 months telling that, I cannot continue with maths. Because maths is a very tough subject. For him it is tough subject. That you have to understand. For others who really have that passion for maths, for them it is easy subject only. They are learning maths. They enjoy doing maths. Okay, every day when they actually solve some questions, it's like a motivation for them that yes, I am in my civil service preparation. And I told you, right, that it's a detoxifier kind of a thing. It detoxifies your entire mind that yes, I am in this, my preparation. Perfectly, I am in this. That's what it means. That's what it means for maths. Okay? If you don't have that kind of aptitude for maths, interest for maths, patience for this kind of practice that I'm talking about, the procedure and getting this final answer, if you don't do this one, you cannot crack with mathematics option. That's appreciated. Okay? Take your time and think on that. Okay? Now, scoring potential, I think everyone knows about scoring potential. As I told you, like, see, my my take on scoring potential of maths is getting 270 is not at all a big issue in maths. 270 is not at all a big thing. Okay? But the problem is going up to 300. Going up to 300. Now, as I told you, I have given certain numbers earlier. Paper 1, 140. Attempting only 200 out of 250. Paper 2, 200 marks only you attempted. You got 160 marks. 160 plus 140 gives you 300. That's not a biggest to score again. But crossing this and getting up to 320 or 340, this is the task. This is the task. And this is possible with mathematics. For this, you don't need to do some kind of the huge kind of practice that I'm talking about. You don't need to do that kind of practice for 300. It's okay. You have to do decent level of practice. That's up to you. But you should have a proper strategy. How many questions that I should attempt? What kind of questions that I should attempt based on my mastery over topics. Okay? Paper 2 also same thing. How many questions that I'm going to attempt for how many marks based on again the selective kind of questions where I have 100% of mastery. Definitely I know that if I attempt this question, I'll get proper 100% right answer. That kind of confidence you should have in certain areas. You will not have that same confidence in the entire syllabus. Not possible. Don't assume that I'm going to mastery 100% of math syllabus. No. Don't be in the wrong assumptions. No. You don't require also. I'm telling you, right? Why you should prepare for 250 marks when you are attempting 200 marks only? Logic? When we're not going to attempt 250 marks, what's the point in preparing for 250 marks? When you're not able to attempt in the final exam. And that too, you're able to attempt only 200 suppose. Maybe going to 220 suppose. Then you prepare that it's 20 marks scale here. Suppose you master it up to 220. Then you think of crossing this one up to 240. Maybe this 20 marks questions, maybe 2 10 markers suppose. 2 10 markers. Maybe for those 2 10 markers only I will prepare, not beyond that. So you should be very selective in mastering certain topics. Which topics I have to master, which topics I don't require to master, you can identify, but not now, not at this juncture. Okay? All this happens in the end. Okay? After the entire course gets completed, you have one iteration is completed. One iteration means entire syllabus you would have done once at least. That's the first iteration. Iteration, you learn everything in the subject. Okay? All the varieties of questions that you have, the previous questions that we have, whether we are able to solve the previous questions or not. That too with the regular learnings. It's knowledge or learning, whatever. After that, when you start your revisions, that is the time when you realize that, yes, this is the area where I'm 100% comfortable. This is the area I'm only partially comfortable. This is the area I attended the classes, but I did not understand anything. Possible. 1 or 2 topics, it's possible. I did not understand anything. It's okay. Let it be. Let it be. Based on you, whatever kind of these 3 varieties of topics that you have, based on them, will form a strategy for you that how many marks that you are going to attempt. If you have to cross this 200, for this 20 marks, which topic that additionally that you have to do. And suppose you already mastered up to here, then for this 20, what you have to do additionally. It's all in phases. Not at single juncture and decide that I'm going to do all these things and I'm going to attempt this many. No, that doesn't happen. It all happens in the end. End doesn't mean that just before, one day before exam. I'm not saying that. I'm all saying, what I'm trying to tell you is that it all happens, this kind of strategy formation happens once you complete your first iteration. When you start your revisions, then actual strategy starts. And that strategy is not common to everyone. That strategy is different for each individual. Everyone, suppose someone is good at calculus, someone is not so good at calculus, then what he or she has to do? Someone is good at vector calculus, someone is not so good at vector calculus, then what he or she has to do? Complex analysis or LPP or modern algebra, abstract algebra or reanalysis. So that depends upon the individual whether you are really comfortable in any of the areas or not. Based on that, we have to form an individual strategy. At that time, I will help you guys, don't worry. That is a one-to-one sessions. It cannot be like group-wise sessions. Okay? That's how it goes. So that's about mathematics. Okay. Overview, syllabus. Okay, let us move on. Let me remove this as well. ఇక్కడ నుంచి కనిపిస్తుందా? ఇక్కడ కనపడుతుందా? ఇక్కడ కనిపిస్తుందా? Let me start from here. Okay. So let us look at our syllabus. Along with that, I will talk about even the question paper pattern, and then I'll give you some history of this entire syllabus as well. I'll just throw some light on that because I have seen this syllabus way back 1992. First time I have seen the syllabus of mathematics optional subject. Okay, 1992 means it is when I completed my intermediate. 92. Okay. 92 story మీకు తర్వాత చెప్తాను, but anyway, a small pointer here. You know, earlier days, 90s, I'm talking about 1990s. You know how the syllabus used to be? You have paper 1 and then paper 2. Every subject related to mathematics and partially statistics was part of our syllabus at that point of time, divided into paper 1 and paper 2. Okay, so paper 1 we used to have almost nearly 9 to 10 chapters. Okay, paper 2 we have more than 10 chapters, suppose 10. Suppose here it is 8 chapters, here it is 10 chapters. Okay, it used to be even a theory of relativity, statistics, probability, remember distributions, normal distributions, binomial distributions. Okay, in operations research, entire operations research. Operations research is mathematics concept, okay, not medical concept. Not that operations, these operations are different. Like a simplex method, traveling salesman problem, transportation problem, PERT, CPM, game theory. Anyone heard about game theory? No? It's okay. See, all these things, huge, apart from whatever we already have today. Okay, whatever we already have today, apart from all these things used to be part of our syllabus. You know, the breathing space at that point of we used to get was something like this. It's about story as well as syllabus. Okay, together I will explain everything. They used to give an entire paper 1 syllabus. They used to give 15 questions. 15 questions, of which we were supposed to write 5. No section A, no section B. No compulsory questions. All these concepts came later on. Okay, together 15 questions in the entire syllabus. 5 we have to write. Okay, each question used to carry 60 marks, comes to 300. At my time it was 300 paper, 300 marks paper. Now today it is 250, right? We used to have 300 then. Paper 2, they used to give 17 questions, of which we were supposed to write 5. Again, 5 into 60 it used to be 300. Simple, very simple pattern. Okay, paper 1 15 questions, paper 2 17 questions, paper 1 you write any 5, paper 2 write any 5. So easy, right? So easy there. Now, if you look at this 15 also, let me come to this 5. My strategy, or my seniors or everyone at that point of the strategy was, if you look at ordinary differential equations, we used to get 2 questions. Out of this 15, we used to get 2 questions from just ODE, ordinary differential equations. Okay? Linear algebra, it was a bigger one, therefore we used to get 3 questions. Now you tell me, do I require to read anything beyond these 2 chapters? Sufficient, right? Out of the entire syllabus of paper 1, if I read only ordinary differential equations and linear algebra, then it's sufficient for me to attempt 300 out of 300. All the questions I can attempt. Is it not simple? Used to be very simple. That's how people cracked civil services in 90s with mathematics as optional. 90s, all entire 90s, the entire decade till 1999. Till 1999, okay? My seniors, all of them, they went to IAS just because of this one only. Of course, vector calculus, we used to get 2 questions. Calculus, we used to get 3 questions. We used to have 2-dimensional geometry plus 3-dimensional geometry together. Though we have only 3-dimensional today. There is no 2-dimensional geometry today's syllabus. Okay? We used to get another 3 more questions. Wherever you are comfortable and convenient, you choose those topics accordingly, ensure that those 5 questions are attempted. Okay? That was the scenario. In paper 2, we used to have like a partial differential equations. We used to get 2 questions. Complex analysis, 2 questions. What is that? Operations research used to be another 2 questions like this. Numerical methods, another 2 questions like this. So many are there. Okay? The point is you choose any 2 or 3 of those, 3 of them, and then complete the entire paper. You know the kind of scores that people used to get at that time. I'll give you one statistics of 1992. There was someone called as Iqbal. I still remember his name. Iqbal. His scores were in mathematics, physics, his scores were that. No, I still remember because this was the reason why I've gone to engineering. Okay. Not just one single scores. That 1992 year, if you look at top 20 rankers, there used to be one magazine called as CSR, Competition Success Review. Today also it is there, but it is not popular for civil services. At that point of time, it was the only magazine which has some kind of content related to civil services. That CSR people, they used to interview top rankers. They used to give the entire interview, along with that their scores in civil services, their optional subject, what was their scores. Top 20, 18 were engineers, 1 doctor, 1 from humanities. 18 engineers out of 20. At +2 level, my father used to be a commerce lecturer. He wanted me to become a CA, chartered accountant. Because his students, so many were CAs, though he wanted me also to become CA, though I was interested in mathematics. Whatever. He wanted finally, after CA, you go for civil services. Then I said like, let me look at civil services first. So we have seen all those magazines and finally compiled, and final result is that for us, for our analysis is that top 20, 18 were engineers. Suppose if you have to become an IAS officer, what's the point in going to CA and then preparing for IAS and getting failure there? Instead, go to engineering. It's a shortcut. Go to engineering, prepare for civil services, you will become IAS. It's very easy, right? It's a shortcut form, right? Instead of going for CA, first you have to go with BCom, CA, and then prepare for civil services. There is no guarantee again. Okay? But if it is engineering, just 4 years. Engineering, it is just 4 years. 4 years you do engineering and then become IAS after that. That's what happened. That's what happened the entire decade. It happened that way. The entire decade, I'm telling you, all those people, if you see senior most IAS and IPS officers of today's generation, senior most people, DGP level or maybe principal secretary level, so many are there. Okay, I know them actually. They all became IAS or IPS because of this reason. In fact, this reason, maths. Most of them are because of maths only. Okay? Now, I'm not saying that whether they are really eligible candidates or not. I'm not talking about the caliber actually. I'm talking about at that point of time, that was the strategy. Now, what has changed after that? In 1999, it so happened that they slightly revised the syllabus. Okay? That we didn't know till the time we went to examination hall. Syllabus is same, sorry, the syllabus was same. The pattern, the way questions were asked was different. How it was different? Look at ordinary differential equations. Okay? He did not give 2 full length questions in ordinary differential equations. He has given only one question. He has given only one question. That means instead of 120 marks, you can attempt only 60 marks now. So those who prepared only ordinary differential equations and then linear algebra, 2 plus 3, they were able to attempt only one question from ordinary differential equation. And linear algebra, instead of 3 questions, he has given only 2 questions. Now what happened? 120 marks they could not attempt out of 300. That means they could attempt only 180 marks. It's a loss. It's a loss. Of course, by the time people like me, since I had enough time, I started working on a 3-dimensional geometry, 2-dimensional geometry, calculus as well as vector calculus. So I was able to attempt comfortably, but my friends could not attempt comfortably. In fact, that was the reason why I used to get very high score, 420, 413 maths. My friends could not because of the reason that they were very selective, and then that made them realize that no, this is not the way, we have to attempt more number of questions. For that, we need to study more and more and more in maths. Okay? That's how slowly number of people who started taking maths as an optional subject started declining from 99 onwards. 2000, they revised the syllabus. Pattern, no one knows. Till the time we go to examination hall. 2001, again they revised the syllabus for today's pattern. Whatever today that we have syllabus, that is actually of 2001 revised syllabus. 2001. Of course, 2008 there was slight change of 5% in the syllabus. But if you see Indian Forest Service syllabus of maths, for that and today's civil services math syllabus, there is 5% of change is there. That Forest Service syllabus was not changed till now, after 2001. That was the syllabus which we used to have earlier. Okay? Whatever. Now what is the scenario? The scenario changed like this. In paper 1, if you look at the syllabus, first we have, let us look at section A and then section B. Again, one more thing. Syllabus did not clearly define what is section A and what is section B. It is our assumption that these 3 chapters are section A, these 3 chapters are section B. If you look at syllabus, there is no mention of section A and section B. If you look at question paper, yes, we have mention of section A and section B. Okay. Section A, what we have in the syllabus? First is linear algebra, LA, linear algebra. What do we have in linear algebra? This actually speaking, the linear algebra is purely theoretical concepts. Purely theoretical, okay? Completely theoretical in nature, linear algebra. This people coming from the backgrounds of BSc Maths, MSc Maths, these people will appreciate that linear algebra is completely theoretical in nature. That's how they were taught in academics, okay? Of course, my teacher who taught me linear algebra, you'll be coming to know about this person, we call him Kaisen, okay? He in fact is an expert of linear algebra, okay, but purely theoretical in nature, that's a problem. Civil services requires completely applied aspects, not just in maths. You look at any of the topics, any of the subjects, any of the optional subjects or general studies, it's not about theory that is going to be asked in the question paper. It is all about the application of the theory for real-time problems. That's how the questions would be framed. Even in mathematics also, every topic, though it might be theoretical in nature, 90% of the questions will be framed in such a way that they actually address the application point of view, not the theoretical point of view. Are you getting that? Though this entire linear algebra appears to be theoretical in academic setting, but in our civil services competitive environment setting, this is completely applied in nature. 100% of all those questions that if you see civil services mains mathematics, they're all applied in nature. You don't see not even single question. At my time, yes, we used to have some theoretical questions, but after that 99, 2000 onward, there are not even single theoretical questions from these kind of topics. Though in academic setting, they are purely theoretical in nature, but today it is completely applied in nature, right? Okay. Applied in nature means you have to apply a theoretical concept to solve a numeric problem. Are you getting that? Theorem might be there. For example, there is something called a rank nullity theorem. Rank nullity theorem. What would be a theoretical concept on that? Proof of rank nullity theorem would be a theoretical concept. Proof, theorem proof, theorem proof. Prove rank nullity theorem. That would be a question that can be asked in BSc exam or MSc exam, but not in civil services. You know what kind of a question can be asked? Verify rank nullity theorem for the matrix or for the linear transformation. Verify rank nullity theorem. What is rank nullity theorem? Is rank of a transformation plus nullity of the transformation equal to dimension of the domain vector space. Just, you don't know that, but I'm telling you. Rank plus nullity equal to some number you should get. What is that number also? We have a rule. If it is a matrix, it will be number of columns of the matrix. Suppose given a matrix, you will find the rank of the matrix. You would have heard about what is rank of the matrix. There is something called the nullity also you can find. Nullity of the matrix also I will find. Equal to number of columns of the matrix. It will always be number of columns of the matrix. Because there is a theorem proof for that. Verify means what? You will find rank, you will find nullity, add them, you will get a number. Whether that number becomes equal to number of columns or not, you will verify it. If it is verified, then rank nullity theorem is verified. Where is theorem in this? Theorem proof is there? No. It's completely applied in nature. Finding a rank is applied concept, finding nullity is applied concept, the number of columns in the matrix also is a number. Right? So that's how the questions would be asked, which are completely applied in nature. Applying your rank nullity theorem in this question is the concept. Getting that? That kind of questions would be asked here. Okay? So what we have in linear algebra? Linear algebra, if you look at linear algebra, first nearly 50% looks to be little bit theoretical in nature, like vector spaces, subspaces, linear transformation, and a matrix of a linear transformation. It means that from linear transformation you are transforming into a matrix, and from there on it is matrices. Types of matrices, different types of orthogonal matrices, unitary matrices, Hermitian matrices, skew-Hermitian matrices. Okay, and then eigenvalues, latent values or eigenvalues, whatever. Multiple names for that. Okay, eigenvalues, eigenvectors. Okay, and then Cayley-Hamilton theorem in matrices. So it's all matrices after that. Initially some theoretical concepts. Again, no theorem is asked there also. Again, the application of the theorem would be asked. From there we'll get linear transformations. Linear transformation is nothing but a matrix, but how to transform a linear transformation into a matrix. After that, all matrices. This is a smooth flow is there. A smooth flow would be there. So that's how you have to learn the concepts as well. But matrices, everyone knows that they are completely applied in nature. But actually, matrix has a lot of theory, lots and lots of theories there. But you don't need to learn the entire theory part there. Whatever is important as far as our exam is concerned, wherein our exam requires you to learn all those applied concepts, those things we learn. You try to solve all the previous questions. Whatever is covered in the previous questions, we'll cover it. That's good enough. That's good enough. Okay? That's how you will learn this linear algebra as well. Okay? Anyway, my teacher, when he taught me linear algebra, he took 2 months. 2 months. But when I teach linear algebra, it would be 12 classes. Because, obviously the reason because we are preparing for civil services. We are not trying to master linear algebra for academic setting. No. We are trying to, for example, verify that proof of theorem of rank nullity theorem. I am not going to prove the rank nullity theorem in the class. Because it's not going to be asked in the examination. What is being asked in the examination is verification of rank nullity theorem or the application of rank nullity theorem to solve certain questions. That we'll discuss in the class, but I will never prove rank nullity theorem in the class. Getting my point? What is important for the examination, that we'll learn. Rest of the things, leave it aside. No one is going to ask you that. Okay? And the next topic is calculus. Next topic is calculus, which has got both differential calculus as well as integral calculus. Differential calculus as well as integral calculus. Now let me tell you one thing. The +2 level of differential calculus, +2 level of integral calculus is the foundation stone. Is the foundation stone here. What we actually learn in this differential and integral calculus is advanced level of differential calculus, advanced level of integral calculus. Are you getting that? So the concepts or the principles related to advanced level we'll learn. That is more important for our exam. It doesn't mean that basic level is not important. Without the basic level, you cannot go up to advanced level, right? So the basic level of your +2 level, for example, most of you would have read maybe in intermediate advanced level would be that Shanti Narayan. Differential calculus by Shanti Narayan or integral calculus by Shanti Narayan for at my time, but I don't know about your time. Okay, fine. So they're all basic level. But what they are going to learn in civil services mathematics and calculus would be advanced level of differential calculus as well as advanced level of integral calculus. And then we have three-dimensional geometry. We used to have, as I mentioned earlier, two-dimensional geometry as well, earlier syllabus, but today we don't have that as part of our syllabus. Okay. Again, in 3D geometry, what we learn? We talk about a plane, a straight line, a sphere, a cone, a cylinder, ellipsoid, paraboloids, hyperboloids. Okay? If you know them, well and good. If you don't know them, also well and good as of now. Okay? But the prerequisites, just let me, prerequisites. This I will discuss in the end. Okay? Because these two, the basic levels are prerequisites to start your preparation, which I will discuss in the end. Okay. Let us come to section B. What we have here is ordinary differential equations, considered to be the most easiest chapter of this entire syllabus, but actually not. Okay, but actually not. So, because it's a place where people start their preparation, but it has become a little bit lengthy these days. And then the experimentation UPSC does will generally be on this area. Okay. The next topic is statics and dynamics. We call it as a physics related topics. We call them as physics related topics, statics and dynamics. Now one more thing is statics and dynamics, you would have heard about these terms, might be in your +2 level, or some of you might be in your graduation if at all you are mechanical engineering or civil engineer or chemical engineer. Okay, you will be learning about the statics and dynamics. But see, the basic concepts of statics and dynamics, they are +2 level only. But in the +2 level, what we would have done would be basic concepts, along with that some basic level of questions you would have solved. Simple questions. Here it is all mathematical principles that you have to apply to solve these statics and dynamics questions. Okay, mathematical principles that you have to apply here. It's not just simple problems that we had solved in our +2 level or maybe in our graduation. Of course, some of the graduation concepts come here. That's a pretty sure. Okay. And then might be that maybe the background of mechanical engineering or civil engineering or chemical engineering, you might feel this little comfortable. Okay? But it doesn't mean that they are not at all comfortable topics. People say that physics related topics are highly difficult topics. I don't say they are easy topics, but I don't also say that they are highly difficult topics. They are comfortable topics provided you do some kind of practice on this. Okay? And the last one in paper 1 is vector calculus. Vector calculus. From my side, this is the most easiest. If you really understand concept, very minimum number of concepts, very limited topic. Okay, varieties of questions are limited, very much limited. Okay, you can easily expect what kind of a question that might appear in your exam. So this is something actually is the very easiest one, provided you understand the crux of the problem. Okay, very easy one. Okay, anyway, before going to paper 2 syllabus, so let me discuss about this one, the pattern of the question paper. Okay, paper 1 altogether you will be given 8 questions, of which you are supposed to write 5 questions, each carrying 50 marks, amounting to 250 marks of the paper. Okay, instead of 60 marks we have 50 marks now. Okay, but there are certain conditions here. So the first question is a compulsory question. And they will be having second question, third question and fourth question. Here, fifth question again is a compulsory question, and then sixth, seventh and eighth questions. 8 questions would be given. First 4 questions belong to section A, second 4 questions belong to section B. How the questions would be framed here? First question, which is a compulsory question, will have A, B, or maybe I will write it here. A, B, C, D, E. 5 sub questions would be there, each carrying 10 marks. Each carrying 10 marks. Okay? So 5 into 10, 50. So one question carries 50. Earlier, before this one, 2001, they made the question paper. They used to give 6 questions here, A, B, C, D, E, F also. And that too, first 2 would be from here, 2 from here, 2 from here, 6 questions, of which you are supposed to write 5 again. So you used to have a choice in the first question also, compulsory question, which we don't have it now. Now the things have changed. Now we don't have 6 questions, we have only 5 questions, not 6. How those questions would be given? Those 5 questions would be framed from these 3 chapters. Okay? It can be 2, 2, 1, or generally it will be 2 here. Okay? 2, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, or whatever the combination that UPSC that year feels comfortable for them, they will frame that way. Okay? But if you read all the 3, generally you will be able to attempt all the 5. Generally, till today if you see, this generally has 2, 2, 1. 2, 2, 1, generally. Not every time, generally. Okay? So it also means that focusing more on these two in the last final strategy, focusing more on these 2 rather than this one also will fetch you. But someone who is more interested in 3-dimensional geometry compared to calculus, suppose, then they have to go with this one. It's up to them. That strategy will form later. Okay? Are you getting that? Initial days when 2001 also, when they framed the question paper, earlier, this used to be LA question, this used to be calculus question, this used to be 3-dimensional geometry question. Earlier, initial days. Okay? Again, here also, A, B, C, D, E, this used to be ODE, this used to be SND, this used to be vector calculus. Used to be, not today. Okay? Now, let me form a strategy from here. Okay, generally again here also 2 plus 2 plus 1, or 2 plus 1 plus 2, or 1 plus 2 plus different combinations. Okay, okay, from here, 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 and okay. Now suppose, just look at this hypothetical scenario which actually happened earlier, a decade back, okay, or maybe 1.5 decade back. The scenario was something like this. Now what happens? Suppose if I read only ordinary differential equations, only, I just completed ordinary differential equations, okay, then look at here, this is the one which I said like I just completed. Now what happens? I should be able to solve this one plus 1 or 2 questions of here, 10 or 20 marks from here, 50 from here. Okay? It means least case 60, 50 plus 10, least case. If at all 22 questions here, it would be 60 to 70. Got it? Now, while attempting these 5 questions also, the criteria is that first and fifth are, I said, like compulsory questions. You have to attempt them. If you don't attempt them, you will be losing those marks. Okay? Along with that, in the remaining 6 questions, you have to attempt at least 1 question from each section. From each section, you have to attempt at least 1 question. Suppose having done ODE, so I already completed at least 1 question from section B. So section A also, I have to complete at least 1 question. Suppose I go with linear algebra. Suppose. I'm just giving a tentative strategy. Okay. What happens? Again the same story, 60 to 70. 60 to 70. Now at least one question from each section is completed. Now the fifth question I can attempt from any of the section. Suppose, since I said the vector calculus is little bit easy one, if at all I go with vector calculus, third chapter, vector calculus, what happens? Another 60 to 70, depending. 60 if at all is only one question. Clear? Now add them up. If I add them, what I will get is, it would be ranging from 180 to 210. 180 to 210. How much you studied? 50% of the syllabus. 50% of the syllabus, but how much you are able to attempt? 180 to 210. 180 to 210. That was the old scenario. It's an old scenario, not new scenario, old scenario. Okay? It means that earlier days, it used to be like, even if you prepare only 50% of the syllabus, but still you were in a position to attempt 180 to 210 out of 250. This is out of 250 only, not 300. Out of 250. It was good, right? Very comfortable, very comfortable. Okay? That used to be earlier scenario. Now what today we are getting is, he is not giving this second question purely from LA. What he is trying to do is, he is giving two sub-questions from LA, maybe one question from calculus, or 2 plus 0 plus 1, or 1 plus 1 plus 1. It means 1, 1, 1. Okay? 1 15 marker, another 15 marker, 1 20 marker. Or else that 20 marker is divided into 10 plus 10. Getting that? It might be 3 questions or 4 sub-questions from different topics. It means that you have to cross beyond this strategy to prepare for today's kind of a scenario. Right? How to go with that? Again, we can optimize there also. If you look at here, if I am very already comfortable here, generally you will get these two, 99.99% of the cases, the second question will always contain 2 sub-questions of linear algebra. Okay? It generally happens that one question from here, one question from here. Okay? Third question also, it's like 1 plus 2 plus 1 kind of. Fourth question generally 1 plus 1 plus 2 or 1 plus 0 plus, depending upon the number of marks that they are going to award for each of the questions. Either 15 marker or 20 marker or 10 marker. 15 markers, 215 plus 120 or 215 plus 210 also. It's up to them that year, the type of questions that they have. Okay? Now what happens here is, if you are very thorough with linear algebra, and additionally if you are thorough with calculus also, why only calculus, why not 3D geometry, I will tell you later. Okay? When I prepare paper 2 syllabus, you will get that. Okay? If you should be also thorough with calculus, you have to be thorough with calculus also. Now what happens, you have a better chance of attempting either this one or this one based on which question doesn't have 3D geometry. Are you getting that? Possibility that second question doesn't have a 3D geometry question, or third question doesn't have a 3D geometry question, in which case you will suppose 2 doesn't have a 3D geometry, you are going to attempt this, not this one. Okay? Are you getting that? The same strategy works out even here also. You will anyway be doing ODE and vector calculus. So 6th question, if you see 6th question, you will get 2 plus 1 plus 1 suppose, or this is 1 plus 2 plus 1, or this is 1 plus 1 plus 2, whatever. Whatever. Okay? Anyway, you have already done ODE and vector calculus. Okay? Either you might be comfortable to attempt at the 6th question or 8th question, any one of them. Suppose. That means here you attempted one compulsory, 5th compulsory, second attempted, 8th or 6th, any one of them attempted. And the last 5th question you can attempt from anywhere. Actually, for that last question, you don't get enough time actually. That's the problem. Because by that time, you would have already attempted 200 marks. Already 200 is done, right? So another 50 marks to attempt that, you need to attempt the 5th question. That's where the actual practice is important. That's where the practice comes into picture. In fact, by that time actually you would not have actually attempted 200 marks, because here one of the questions or two of the questions you would have already missed because you did not read 3D geometry or you did not read SND, right? That time is there to attempt the fifth question. Na? Are you getting my point? So that is the time where you will be actually going to attempt the fifth question, which might be this one or this one, whatever is comfortable there, based on your preparation and command over the subject and the kind of question paper that you got that year. Okay? So that's where you are trying to optimize paper 1. Even otherwise, how much you would have prepared by this time? 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 chapters you did not read also. Now, I am not saying that you should leave some topics. I am not saying that. What I am trying to tell you is, this is how you have to plan your final revisions. Today, you will be learning all of them. The first iteration, you have to read everything, entire syllabus. You will be reading everything. But there will be certain areas where you feel very, very comfortable. Certain areas, partially comfortable. Certain areas, you are not comfortable. How would I know? Even you also don't know now. Right? Once you complete the one iteration, the same strategy works out even in general studies also. Similar kind of a strategy you have to adopt for general studies also. In the entire spectrum of general studies syllabus, today you might be not well aware of which topics you are really comfortable, which you are not so good at. But once you complete the one iteration, then you will come to know, yeah, this is something which I am very much interested, comfortable, I can definitely score very good in that one. But there are certain areas you are partial, certain areas you are not at all comfortable. Not at all comfortable doesn't mean that you have to leave it. For example, maybe art and literature, art and culture. Okay, someone who understands in the syllabus of general studies. Art and culture, you feel like, whatever I learn in art and culture, I cannot recollect anything, I cannot understand anything, I have to by heart everything, which I cannot do. Getting my point? Then obviously you feel like that is the last section. That's the last section. How much time I have to spend on that art and culture, which you will decide. When will you decide? At the time of revision only. Right? That's what I'm trying to tell you. Here you have to form a strategy, not today, but after first iteration, after learning everything, then we'll form a strategy based on your comfort zone in each of them. Someone who say that, sir, I am more comfortable in geometry than calculus, that doesn't work out, I am telling you. Because, coming to paper 2. Paper 2, what you have in section A? Section A, we have modern algebra, also called as abstract algebra, which is purely theoretical. When you say mathematics, BSc or MSc, they talk only about abstract algebra. They don't talk anything else. Okay? That's the prominence of theoretical concepts in BScs and MScs. Very beautiful subject. Very evaporative subject. Maths lo evaporation in physics kada evaporation. So very evaporative in the sense that, suppose I teach that in the class, you will understand very good. Wow, super, super, super. The moment you step outside the class, it's gone already. That's what is evaporation, okay? So it directly evaporates. It doesn't go solid going to transforming its stage to liquid and then to vapor stage. This doesn't have, directly goes to vapor stage. Okay? That's how it evaporates actually. Anyway, whatever. And then we have some other topic called as real analysis. Real analysis. Real analysis is considered to be mother of calculus. If you look at real analysis syllabus, our syllabus, I am not saying that regular real analysis of academic setting, okay? I am talking about our syllabus of real analysis. If you see that, 80%, literally 80% of this real analysis is our calculus. Is our calculus. Is our calculus. Now what is the advantage now? In paper 1, if you do this calculus, 80% of this chapter is already completed, right? What remains is 20% of pure real analysis. Pure real analysis, 20% is there, which you have to learn anyway, which you will be learning also. That's not the point. But what I am trying to tell you is, since you have already completed calculus in paper 1, you have an advantage in paper 2 that one of the chapters is already 80% complete. Even though if you don't read that 20% also, it works out there. Anyway, we'll read that. That's not the point. But even if you don't read also, it works out in the end strategy if you don't have enough time for your preparation. Strategy formation. Okay? Because if you see, you will surprised to know. You know what we have in this one, 80% of freelance is also, we have the regular differential calculus chapters, partial differentiation or differentiation and different levels of differentiation, okay? And then mean value theorems, okay? And then what we have, convergence and divergence, which we'll learn in calculus itself. And then integral calculus, we have line integral, area integrals, volume integrals, okay? Everything we have there. Riemann integrals are also there. They're already part of here as well as here. Okay. One of the years, 2001 or 2000, I didn't remember exactly. The same question that appeared in paper 1 also appeared in paper 2. Same question, literally. Same question with numbers. Same question appeared in paper 1 as well as in paper 2. We got surprised. Oh, yeah, same question appeared. Anyway, that's a different story. Because they overlap there. Anyway, next comes complex analysis. Complex analysis. Complex analysis, generally, not everyone would have heard about this complex analysis or maybe heard about the concepts of complex analysis. Some of you would have been. BSc generally, they don't listen to complex analysis. In MSc, yes, it's an elective. Complex analysis is an elective there. Okay? Complex analysis, even electronics, electrical students also learn about complex analysis. In some syllabi, we have it even in mechanical, chemical, civil also. In some areas, they use it, complex analysis. Okay? Complex analysis, again, my teacher taught me for 2 months. I'll be teaching you in 7 days. 7 days, literally 7 classes, complex analysis. Because what is important, for our exam, we'll learn that, not everything of complex analysis. Exclusively, whatever is relevant for our exam. We'll not even go 1 step beyond that or 1 step below that. It's exactly whatever is important for our exam. Okay? Okay. One more thing is linear programming. My syllabus of all these things were huge actually earlier. It was huge. But today's syllabus is very much limited, streamlined in a proper way. Okay? Linear programming, I was talking about operations research. It contains linear programming, non-linear programming, integer programming, dynamic programming, PERT, CPM, game theory. Are you getting that? Game theory, all this blah, 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 blah is there. Which you don't have today. It is only linear programming that you have today. One simple area. Okay? Getting that? These 4 chapters are considered to be section A, and in fact, for paper setting purposes, these 2 are generally considered as 1 chapter for paper setting. Because you understand, right? We have 3 chapters here, 3 chapters here. That makes more sense, right? So section B, we have partial differential equations, numerical methods, and elements of computer programming. Only elements of computer, not entire computer programming. Elements of computer, basics, bits, bytes, logic gates, Boolean algebra, all this stuff. Okay? And then what we also have is mechanics and fluid dynamics, or hydrodynamics we call. Okay? Mechanics and fluid dynamics. This again is some kind of the physics related here. Paper 1 you have physics related, right? Physics related topics. Again, the same whatever I discussed about statics and dynamics, the same applies to mechanics and fluid dynamics or hydrodynamics. Okay? This actually is the most easiest topic, numerical methods. Actually, I take only 3 classes for that, entire syllabus. Okay? But the point is, it's a simple thing. It's only the practice that you have to, the methods are simple methods. And they have streamlined this one. You see, numerical methods, we have like interpolation methods, extrapolations, and then we have algebraic equations. We have 3 methods. Like, you remember Newton-Raphson method, regular-Falsy method, Newton-Raphson, regular-Falsy, bisection methods. And then numerical integrations, we have like Simpson's rule, trapezoidal rule. Remember, all those things we have. For them, you have flowcharts and algorithms in elements of computer programming. Because elements of computer programming also has flowcharts. Remember flowcharts, algorithms. Of course, no one is writing all these things these days. Okay, but still, we used to have. Okay, and still they are a foundation of computer programming basically. All those numerical methods that we learn here will have those flowcharts and algorithms. Okay, that also you have to learn. Okay, that is also part of the syllabus here. Partial differential equation, as you know, higher dimensions when you go, more than 2 dimensions, 3rd dimension, 4th dimension, 5th dimension you go, you will have partial differential equations. Another very, very important chapter of paper 2. Same thing whatever I discussed here, the way the question paper pattern is there, same thing applies here also. Okay, but when it comes to here, generally we actually learn. Here I started with one topic here, one topic and another topic here, and then extended based on the new pattern, right? Like this, if we go, this is the one, this is the one, this is the one, this is the one. You have to be absolutely thorough with them. Thorough means thorough. You cannot escape these chapters. You cannot avoid these chapters. Additionally, this is also important. You know why this is important? It takes hell lot of time to learn modern algebra or abstract algebra if you don't have that BSc or MSc background, or if you have not learned that topic at any given point of time. Okay? Minimum 2 months it takes to teach modern algebra itself. Okay? And it is highly evaporative again. So it means that you have to do more number of revisions and practice, right? And it is very theoretical in nature. You know what is the advantage of that topic? The biggest advantage is assuming that every question takes out of this entire syllabus, when you are trying to get 250, out of 250 marks you are trying to attempt, each question might take nearly up to 8 minutes time. You are supposed to spend nearly 8 minutes time. Okay? Some of these questions might take more than 8 minutes. If it is modern algebra, less than 5 minutes, you can complete your answer. If you know it. If you don't know, leave it. Attempting is useless there. That's how it would be. It's a literally kind of a binary system there we have in modern algebra. You know it, perfect. You don't need to solve anything there. In modern algebra, you will actually not be solving anything. It's based on certain principles you keep on writing. Right? It's kind of writing a theory kind of. Okay? And though this is purely a theoretical topic, you know the kind of questions that will be asked in our exam, completely applied again. Use so and so theorem to prove this. Are you getting that? It's not theorem proof they are asking. You are asked to prove only. What proof? Proof of applying the theorem to solve certain other things. Getting that? That kind of question again applied in nature. Okay? But again I am telling you, if you are really thorough with this one, it saves hell lot of time for you to spend that time in solving other questions. For example, PD generally takes a lot of time to solve. If with practice 8 minutes, without practice 10 minutes, 12 minutes also. Okay? Even sometimes complex questions and LPP questions are also little lengthy. In fact, that's the reason why paper 2 people will not be able to cross 240 they cannot attempt in paper 2. Why? Because they are lengthy questions. Attempting 200 itself is a very good task in paper 2. Paper 1 going to 240, some people go to 250 also, but paper 2 no one can attempt 250, not possible. Because the questions are little lengthy ones. Lengthy questions obviously takes more time to solve the questions. The procedure also you have to write anyway, right? Along with getting a final 100% accurate answer. So it means that this takes more time. Therefore, you cannot attempt more than 220 and 230s. Very 240. I don't think so. 220s is really beautiful if you attempt 220 in paper 2, because anyway you are going to get 80% of the marks. For 200 itself, 80% is 160 marks. 160 itself is a very good number in paper 2. But if you attempt another 20 marks additionally in paper 2, it's really beautiful. Really beautiful. Okay? Getting my point? That's how it is. That's the syllabus and the pattern of the examination. What kind of a strategy, kind of a thing that you have to form after first iteration. After first iteration again. It's not before that. Before that, you cannot form any kind of a strategy. I'm telling you, don't even think of forming a strategy in the very first iteration of learning everything. Okay? So in the second iteration, when you start revising things, then form a strategy for yourself based on your understanding of the subject. Okay, na? ఇంకేమున్నాయి క్వశ్చన్స్ ఇక్కడ? చాలా మాట్లాడేసానా? చాలా రోజుతో క్లాస్ తీసుకుంటున్నాను, అందుకే నాకు కూడా ఏదో చాలా మాట్లాడేసాను అనిపిస్తుంది. సరే చెప్పండి. యా, ఆస్క్ ఏ క్వశ్చన్. సమ్మన్ ఈజ్ ఆస్క్. అది వస్తాను, ఆ రెండింటికి వస్తా. స్కేలింగ్ కూడా ఉంది కదా. ఐ విల్ కమ్ టు దాట్, బట్ బిఫోర్ దట్ ఎనీథింగ్ హియర్ దట్ యూ వాంట్ మీ టు అడ్రస్? క్లియర్ వాట్ వీ హ్యావ్ ఇన్ ద సిలబస్? So what is there inside of each chapter, that is, forget about it as of now. Okay, that we'll see it later. Okay, but what exactly is the outside framework of a macro level view of what is math syllabus? Okay, and the pattern of question paper and the kind of a strategy that you need to form all together at one place. Clear? Can I rub this part now? Okay. In fact, I covered even some history also in maths. Okay. Prerequisites, let me address prerequisites and I'll come back to scaling. Okay. Prerequisites. As I was talking earlier, prerequisites to start your preparation. Prerequisites to start your preparation. One is that your interest for subject, all these things I already discussed. I'm not talking about that. Okay. Assuming that, yes, I have interest for mathematics, let me start. First, let me start. To start with, you have to actually go with differentiation, integrations. Without which your preparation will not start. You cannot start your mathematics civil services preparation without differentiation and integrations. And again, differentiation integration, I am not saying that you have to master your +2 level, all the questions, hundreds and hundreds of questions. I am not saying that. Okay, you don't require all of them. Only we require few of them. That's a different story. But you should have that idea about what is differentiation. And in your +2 level textbook or whatever you would have read at that point of time, any material of your college or whatever coaching material that you would have, that one, you take that one and then start solving certain questions related to differentiation. Okay. Similarly, integrations also. There are so many integration methods are there. At least each of those methods, 1 or 2 questions you solve. You practice them. If you want to do more, it's okay, but I don't suggest you to do more and more, because anyway, all this differentiation, integration, you are going to start doing in the class itself. You are going to solve them in the class. Okay. But in the class, you should be able to solve it. That's the point. You cannot just put integration sign and see this side and that side. I don't want you guys to do that. Anyway, I am going to solve in the class. That's up to sure. But if everything I solve in the class, what you are going to do then? It's not about noting there whatever is in the board, right? That's not the one. You have to solve in the class itself. Only then, if at all you have any doubts, any conceptual clarity problems, then I will be able to address in the class itself. Of course, outside the class anyway I am available. That's not the point. More than that, within the class you have to clear everything. Everything has to be cleared in the class itself. Okay? Integrations. Along with that, 2D geometry. You don't say that 2D geometry is not part of our syllabus, then why I should learn 2D geometry? No. 2D geometry is important for all these things again. Okay? If you want to form a differential equation, you should know what 2D geometry. In 2D geometry also, what I require from you guys is only basic formula. Basic formula. Okay? Basic formula are what? Straight line. Different types of straight lines. Types means the different ways you can write a straight line. Y equal to mx plus c. Ax plus by plus c equal to 0. X by a plus y by b equal to 1. Are you getting that? Their properties. What is what? X by A plus Y by B equal to what is A, what is B? When do we use that? Or Ax plus By plus C equal to 0. When do we use that? Or Y equal to Mx plus C. What is M? What is C? The properties of each of those expressions, okay, equations. And then pair of straight lines. How does the pair of straight lines equation looks like? Ax square plus 2hxy plus by square plus 2gx plus 2fy plus c equal to 0. When does that become pair of straight lines? What is delta? Okay. Next, circle. Different ways that you can write a circle. Okay. What's a circle? X square plus y square plus 2gx plus 2fy plus c equal to 0. What would be the center? What would be radius? Okay. And then x minus a whole square plus y minus b whole square equal to r square. It's also a circle, center and radius form, right? Like that, you should know each one of them. I'm not asking you to go deeper into the circles and talk about what is pole, what is polar. They're also there, +2 level, okay? Don't go into it. We don't have pole and polars in our syllabus. No polar and no polar, poles and polars, okay? So we don't have in the syllabus, then what's the point in reading all of them again? I was reading because I used to have entire 2D geometry as part of my syllabus, okay? But today you don't require to read them, just basic formulae and their properties, okay? Ellipse, hyperbola, parabola. How does the expression look like? For example, parabola, y square equal to 4ax or y square equal to minus 4ax, x square equal to 4ay, x square equal to minus 4ay. Understanding that? So what is focus? What is eccentricity? What is directrix? Okay? For example, ellipse is their major axis, minor axis. Getting my point? Okay? Basics, don't go deeper into them. I just need basics because if you understand basics in 2D geometry, we can start applying those concepts in solving big problems. Even, for example, in ordinary differential equations, if you solve an ordinary differential equation, you will get pair of curves. Whether the pair of curves is a circles, parabolas, or hyperbolas, you should know it, right? How do you interpret that? In order to interpret that, how does a circle look like? You should know it. How does an ellipse look like? You should know it, right? First of all. Are you getting that? Just trying to apply methods and solving a differential equation, giving a final answer, it's okay. But if the question is geometrically interpret the result, what will you do then? For that, you should know all these basics. First of all, in order to form a differential equation itself, we should know 2D geometry basics. If you have 2D geometry basics, obviously we can extend that to 3-dimensional geometry as well, right? It becomes easy for us. So that's where these three are literally very important for us. Along with this, if you can look into logarithms, I'll be happy. See, all these things anyway in the class we'll get them. Okay, but the point is not about in the class. Even before coming to class, if you are well prepared about all these things, then the class becomes a very smooth affair. Okay, instead of you looking this side and that side, you'll be doing on your own, right? So that I can understand that, I can estimate that, yes, this guy has that knowledge. This guy is the right guy for civil maths. Okay? What else? Okay, conceptions or misconceptions about scaling. Okay? Now, okay. Again, let me talk about a history part here. 1992, let us go back. I have given you marks of Iqbal, Muhammad Iqbal, right? Maths, how much he got? 540 out of 600. In that interview, you know, one of the questions that was asked to him, how come you got 540, why not 600? The one who got 540 should actually could easily get 600 also, na? How come you lost that 60 marks? He said directly in the interview that, see, I did not lose anything there. It's all about scaling. There is something called scaling. At that point of time, the scaling was 10%, 90% or 10%, whatever you talk about scaling. It's 0.9 as the scaling factor. 0.9 was the scaling factor. Anyone who got some X marks will be multiplied with 0.9. That was the standard rule then. Standard rule in the entire 90s. Later on, that has been modified using statistical techniques. by UPSC that not every time it should be 0.9. It should be based on certain other parameters as well. It keeps changing. And again, they split it into parts. Paper 1, one type of scaling. Paper 2, another type of scaling, like that. Again, why scaling is required? Again. Okay. Really whether this scaling is there or not. Let us compare two subjects now. Okay. So, maths, any other subject? Humanities? Andhro. Okay, Andhro. Okay. Let us compare both the subjects. Okay. There is one question which we attempted, a 20 marker question attempted here, a 20 marker, the same 20 marker question attempted even in anthropology. Okay. Now, how much do you think you can expect in this? Maximum. $12 to 13 marks for a given question. It means 60 to 65%. Is that? If it is maths, worst case, paper 1, 70%. 70% is 14 marks, which is 70%. Worst scenario. 70, 75 also can be there. Worst scenario, 70%. Now talk about scaling now. Where is scaling? Do you have scaling here or scaling there? Both places we have scaling. But scaling is more in humanities, not in sciences. That's what is scaling. Scaling is a factor which is multiplied to your marks to give final resultant marks. That factor is already there for humanities since ages. It was introduced for sciences in 90s. Are you getting that? Because of that reason, people are able to understand that there is something called scaling in maths or any of the sciences. Okay, till the time no one learned about what is called scaling. No one knows it. But it's already there. It's already there in humanities. In humanities, you give the best of the best answer. For example, public administration, suppose. There is a question of 20 marker. Again, let me talk about the same thing. Or maybe Andhra. 20 marker is there. Okay. UPSC will have a template answer. So these are the 10 points. If those 10 points are given, it would be 100% right answer. Okay. Maths also we have a template answer. Template answer is there. Suppose I have written a template answer in maths exactly in my final exam. That same template answer, Xerox copy. Here, all these 10 points reflected in anthropology answer. 100% it has to be right. But they never ever give you more than 50% generally, but sometimes they go up to 60%. 65, rarely it happens. Best case. For me, best case itself is 60 is a different story. Okay, but sometimes it goes, some of the questions. Some of the questions it goes to 65%. Okay. Okay, possible 65% also. But this is the best. This is already there. The scaling is already there in all the humanities. You know why people cross 65% also sometimes in some of the questions in anthro? Because of physical anthropology. What is physical anthropology? Physical anthropology is related to your biology. Biology of human evolution, right? That is again science actually. It's not humanities. For those questions, people get more than 65% for some of the questions. That's how people cross 65% in entire anthropology on an average. If there is no physical anthropology in anthropology, suppose, then you won't get that one. Look at some other optional humanities like, what is this? Public administration. At any given point of time, do you find any student who got 60% in PubAd? Vachniya? Enter history. History of civil services. Nowhere. Earlier my time, 600. 360 marks is 60%. No one got 360. 310, 320 itself used to be a huge one. 330 also no one got. Someone got 314 history. Highest in humanities. Highest in humanities was 340 in history. That was highest. Okay? These days anthropology people are getting because of that physical anthropology part. That's okay. That's fine. Advantage of that particular subject. It's okay. But what we have an advantage is this one. 70%, minimum 70% you will get in mathematics. That's what is scaling. The scaling factor ranges from 0.7 to 0.8 till 85 in maths. Whereas humanities, it's somewhere here only. It cannot cross beyond that. Okay? Even 65% also comes because I told you the reason. Because of the topic called as physical anthropology. That too especially in paper 1. Okay? That's what is scaling. అయిపోయింది ఇంకేం ఉన్నాయి questions? Any more questions that I can address? See, the point is, humanities, there is a rule actually. Unsaid rule. Unsaid rule is that, nowhere it is mentioned that, you cannot go beyond certain limit in humanities. Because there is no perfect answer. Though the 10 points that you think they are 10 points, might not be sufficient to give a perfect answer. Getting my point? So, suppose Pabbad or Andhra, the 10 points I was talking, right, for 20 marker question, 10 points you have to give. That 10 points might not be sufficient to give a perfect answer. Though UPSC feels that these are the 10 points I require them to put in their answer. So there is no 100% right answer there. When the humanities are being scaled down, if sciences are not scaled down, there is an undue advantage for maths or undue advantage for sciences. That's what happened in the entire 90s. Na? That's what I was telling. 540, 520, imagine, maths and physics 540 and 520. Even though it's a small scaling, 10% reduction also, they don't require interview also. Are you getting me? They don't require interview, but still they become IAS. That was the kind of scores. In fact, at that point after 92, there was no essay paper. 93 it was introduced, essay paper. Till that time, there was no essay paper. Because of looking at these marks, they felt like, no, there should be something to stop these guys. In 97, when I completed my engineering, 96 batch, IIT Delhi, one single year, 25 students got into civil services. 25 students. You know what they have done, IIT people? Yeah, these people are meant for research. And these people are going for administration. What is the use of spending so many lakhs and crores of rupees on each one of them? So they were conducting prelims exam day, they'll be conducting their exam also. And it is a mandatory exam. If you don't write the exam, you have to go back to home. Mains exam again, whenever the mains exams are there, they'll put their own exams. Internal exams or whatever, okay? So that if they don't write those exams, they have to go back home. In IIT Delhi, that was the story in 1997. In fact, that was the only reason why I didn't join IIT Delhi. I joined again OU campus again for M.Tech. Because for me it is civil services, nothing else is my final target. Now what's the point in going to Delhi when you're not able to write the exam? I don't want M.Tech, na? I want IAS. Okay? So that was a long story, it's a different one. But the point is, getting my point, scaling has to be there. You cannot say that scaling, why scaling should be there? No, scaling has to be there because humanities you cannot go beyond that. When you are not able to go beyond that, somewhere or the other subjects also has to be scaled down to on par with other humanities. Earlier, the concept was the average of this optional has to become equal to average of this optional. Averages used to be normalized. But that's not the case actually. The average is not getting normalized. If you look at the scores over a period of time, it was not the average. They would be having some other statistical techniques that they were using or they are using, okay, based on which they decide the scaling factor for sciences. Here, there is nothing that they have to decide. It's anyway is there. There, we have to decide on yearly basis for each of the papers. Right? So, they have their own techniques. They have a team for that actually. Which? Modern algebra. I told you, na? Minimum 2 months. Based on your focus. your time that you spent on that. So let me tell you one more thing in the end. How much time it takes to complete maths? Since context has come. Classes will go for 5 months. Okay? There was instances wherein I completed in 3.5 months also. But now it cannot be completed in 3.5 months. Okay? It takes 5 months literally. Some of the classes will go with additional classes also parallelly. Along with my class, another teacher also takes a parallel class. So that we can finish it off little bit before 5 months also we can do that, provided you attend additional class. Okay? Whenever you miss any class, immediately we have a internal app, student app, only for our students only, not for outsiders. Only for our students we have an mobile app, Android app is there, wherein you can request for the class. Okay? You'll get it by evening or maybe by afternoon you'll get access to that for next 24 hours. You complete that and come to next class. Whenever you're missing any class. Okay? Someone misses a class by a week or 10 days. So you'll get only one video per day. So every day you request for one video. Okay? You'll get access and complete it. The point is that you should not miss a class. Even if you miss a class, there should be an alternate arrangement wherein next class you should be you should be comfortable in the next class. Because there are some of the topics wherein you have to attend each and every class. If you miss one of the class, the rest of the classes are gone. It's gone. For example, complex analysis. I told you, right, that 2 months of my teacher classes, I will teach you in 7 days. If you miss the first day, all other 6 classes are waste. Any of the day you miss, the rest of the classes are waste. Of course, you'll get the access to videos. That's not the point. That I ensure that you'll get access to all the videos. That's not the point. The point is that don't miss the class. ODE, PDE, if you miss one of the class, it's okay. Calculus, you miss one of the class, partial differentiation you missed, is okay. You look at the notes, you will understand. But not everything. Some of the classes you cannot miss. And most importantly, when I give homework in the class, ensure that you complete in the same day. Another suggestion for you guys, if you can really work it out that way, as soon as the class gets completed, immediately complete your homework there and then itself, and then go home. But not everyone does that way. You know why? Because by the time the class gets completed, it will be 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock, afternoon. Okay, 10:30 to 1. Okay? By 1 o'clock, obviously, everyone feels hungry. So you feel like going home and then eating. After that, you feel like completing your homework. But it's up to you. See, I can suggest you, but really to do that, you have to do it. It's up to your motivation levels. And please ensure that before you decide your mathematics optional, look into whatever I discussed today. Okay, first point. Second point, having chosen maths as your optional, okay, the biggest problem that you are going to face is general studies. And please ensure that you also focus on general studies. Don't miss that. The advantage of maths comes only if you are as good as any other candidate with respect to general studies. Getting my point? If you're not good at general studies, being very good at maths is useless. Obvious, kada? The advantage of maths comes only if you have that bonus marks with you. If the bonus marks are compensated in GS, useless. Kada? That's it. So I keep reminding you about general studies every time. Every time, maybe once in a month or twice in every month, I keep reminding you that focus on GS also, focus on GS also, focus on GS. I keep reminding that. I know it because I have gone through your process, right? The process that you are undergoing right now, I have already gone through that one. I know. But of course, I was very good at GS, general studies part. That's a different story. But my skill was different. But as far as you are concerned, too much of focus on mathematics also not so good. You have to distribute your time on daily basis. How much time for general studies, how much time for mathematics. That you have to have that balance of these two things. Then it works out. Got it? Questions? Emma, questions leva? Anikli, 10:30 to 1. ఆఫ్టర్నూన్ ఉండదు, ఒకటే బ్యాచ్ ఉంటుంది, ఒకటే క్లాస్ ఉంటుంది, 10:30 to 1. ఆఫ్టర్నూన్ పెట్టినప్పుడు ఎక్స్ట్రా క్లాస్ పెట్టినప్పుడు అది మనం విల్ డిస్కస్. ఎనీథింగ్ విచ్ ఇస్ ఎక్స్ట్రా విల్ డిస్కస్ ఇన్ ద క్లాస్ అండ్ ఫైనలైజ్. ఆర్బిటరీగా నేనేం డిసైడ్ చేయను, ఐ వోంట్ డిసైడ్ ఆర్బిటరీలీ ఎనీథింగ్. బట్ basic class 10:30 to 1 is the class. Okay, afternoon I cannot conduct classes. Test series where, test where. Okay, I will come back to both of them. Tests, whenever we complete a prominent amount of syllabus, we'll go with the test. It can be 1 week or 2 weeks. It's a unit test, our test, between you and me. It's between you and me. Okay. Test series is a different story. Test series is what? Once you complete this entire syllabus, first iteration is completed. Then when you start your second iteration, then we'll go with the test series. Okay? For example, we completed our syllabus by end of November, suppose. In your plan, you have December, January, February also for mains preparation. Then December, January, February, we'll have a test series. I'll give a schedule, accordingly you prepare, I'll give a test paper. Okay? Next, after prelims exam, for example this time, right now people are writing mains test series for maths. Okay? And this time we'll conduct one more test series. Okay? That test series also you can write. Writing that. So every year we conduct this test series. I have, I think, more than 10 sets of question papers for mathematics alone. For the entire test series. Test series, one set, suppose. Like the 10 test series I have. Over a period of time, we were conducting so many test series. Na? All of them together becomes a huge database. So if you want to write more number of tests also, I can give you. It's all up to you who has to practice all those things. So class timings would be 10:30 to 1. Okay? And then any additional class, I will let you know. We'll discuss in the class itself and then we'll finalize it. Okay? Sometimes it can be in the weekend, sometimes it might be in the afternoons. That depends. That depends. Any more questions? Books. Every chapter in the very first class, when I introduce the chapter, first I will discuss the syllabus. Each point, what is there in that. I will explain about the syllabus and immediately I will give you reference books also. Even in the reference books also, I will give you the entire references related to the chapter which I referred. Okay? Of which what you have to refer or you have to purchase, which you don't need to purchase also I will tell. Okay? Because you should know something about the background also you should know. Why these books are not important, why these books are important for our exam. Right? And each of the books also, what is important in that for our exam. Because there are certain books where concepts are very clear. Conceptual clarity is given very properly. But the kind of questions that it has got, they don't have any relevance to our exam. So we read that book only to the extent of those conceptual clarity. When you understand my class, okay, if you are able to understand everything in my class, then you don't require that book. When you are not able to understand everything in the class, only partially you are able to understand or you want to extend beyond that, then read that book. But when it comes to practice, there will be another book. That book is meant for civil services kind of practice. Clear? That's how I'll explain the books. So based on the condition or scenario, certain books are not available in the market. They are not in publication at all. When I refer to these books, I refer to these books in library. That's Usmania University, the central library. Lakhs and lakhs of books are there. I used to pick up certain books and then I used to refer to them. And whichever I felt relevant to our examination, in fact, I have taken Xerox copy of that. That Xerox copies also I'll give you. Because they are not in publication now. You don't find those books. And some of such books, they are republishing now because we started suggesting those books. For example, three-dimensional geometry by P.N. Chatterjee. That book was not available in the market 1 decade back. I used to have a Xerox copy of that book. That Xerox copy I used to give to the students. You take Xerox copy of that. Now these days it is available in the market. A fresh book is available because they started republishing that book because the demand has increased. Because people like me started suggesting that book. Getting them? That's how things are. Okay? And then, is that okay? We'll stop here or we have further questions? All clear? To take or not to take, go home and think on it. But once you have decided to take it, don't listen to others. Because people keep on telling you like, Riya, this is tough subject, very difficult, why you have taken this, you have taken some easy subject. So many things people say, but don't listen to them. You be confident that once you decided, but before decision, you think of all the things that I mentioned. Then only you decide. Okay? It's a caution from my side. And having decided, then we'll start classes. We'll start classes from Monday actually. Okay? But we'll give a short break in between. Okay? Break of 1 week or 2 weeks. I will tell you that. Okay? But we'll start from Monday onwards. Monday 10:30 to 1. We'll start slowly. The first topic that I'm going to teach would be ordinary differential equations always. The reason being that it can be, I can go fast in that. But it's the only ODE is the place where the prerequisites that I told you, right? You can refer to all those prerequisites and apply them, and then it will be in your mind throughout the course. Okay? So it will take some maybe 12 to 14 classes for ordinary differential equation itself. After that, none of the topics bigger than this topic will take that much of time, except for modern algebra. Modern algebra, in fact, my sir will be taking that. My maths guru, who will be coming to you and taking the classes for modern algebra and real analysis. Okay? And one more thing. Last batch, since we had to start, because of pandemic, we had to start little late, and there were so many disruptions in between. So there were certain topics which we could not complete in the last batch, because they had to prepare for prelims as well. So we stopped somewhere in between. All my topics were completed, other teacher topics were pending. Okay? What I will do is, those topics parallelly it will go, along with my classes, so that you can attend those classes as well, so that you can complete your syllabus little faster. Getting my point? You attend 2 classes on those days. Okay? I will tell you those, the timing schedule I will give you earlier. So you can attend those classes parallelly, so that you can complete the syllabus little faster. Because the point is not about completing the first one. The point is about after that what? Revisions. That's more important, right? Okay? Because that's the time where you are going to form your strategy for this preparation. Getting that? Okay? I will tell you those timings and dates so that you can plan accordingly. Of course, those things, we'll get back to those topics again later on. When the classes are happening, why you should not attend those classes? You can complete them fast. Okay? And especially that modern algebra and real analysis, that 20% of real analysis that I was talking, right? These 2 areas, you should have a long-term association with these 2 areas. Suppose vector calculus. 10 days you learn vector calculus. You leave vector calculus for 2 months. But if you read the notes, you will understand everything. But modern algebra, the theoretical part of analysis, even after 1 month also, if you revisit them, it looks to be very new. So you have to learn slowly, daily 1 hour, 1.5 hour, slowly for a long stretched period of time you have to learn it. Then you will be able to recollect everything for a longer period of time. Got it right? Okay. Fine then. Thank you so much. Thanks for being here even in this kind of harsh climatic conditions. Okay. We'll start our classes from Monday itself. Okay. This is today, Tuesday, coming Monday. What is the coming Monday date? 18th. We'll start our classes from 18th, 10:30 itself. Okay. Fine. Chalo.